Many online tools and apps to help you better manage your money, and NGPF has a great activity that allows students to take on the role of being an app reviewer and to look at different apps that are available and how to evaluate them before you actually download and use them. My name's Amanda Volts. I'm a personal finance teacher at St. Clair High School in St. Clair, Michigan, and I'm going to give you some tips on how I have used the activity Research Online Tools and Apps. You can find this activity in the budgeting unit on the NGPF website. So I'm going to curriculum and then units. And it's housed under the budgeting unit, but what's unique about this activity is you can really use it in any unit throughout your school year. You can maybe even use it as something comprehensive, like at the end of the year after you've covered all your units. Or I think you could even interject the online tools and apps into every unit of your curriculum. So it's housed under budgeting. So when I go to budgeting and I go to the activities, it's listed right here, Research Online Tools and Apps. So again, we have lots of different online tools that are available. So how do you know which ones are good? How can we teach kids to research these and what questions to answer and what they should be looking for before they actually use them? And at the very top of this activity, you see there's a teacher tip. And as it says, this activity is designed to be functional across multiple units. So you could use it in your saving unit. You could use it in your budgeting unit, investing unit. You can use it in a bunch of different units because there's apps that help you do all these different things. So I personally introduce it after my investing unit. So I've already covered budgeting. We've already covered credit. And I just finished investing, so then that's when I usually introduce this particular activity, so we can talk about things like Robinhood and we can talk about robo-investors, but they also have some knowledge on credit and they also have some knowledge on budgeting and some of these other previous units. I think you could also use this if you wanted, like I said, at the end of every unit, like if you wanted to teach your budgeting unit and then end it by reviewing some apps just related to budgeting. And then teach your investing unit and end your unit with some research on apps that help you invest. Like that's another way I think you could incorporate this activity. Or like I said, you can do it as something kind of comprehensive. So we have lots of different online apps and tools to help you be better with your money. And what this will allow them to do is to review these and figure out what are some of the pros and cons of these different apps and dig a little deeper on each one. So as you see in part one, it's set up where they have some of the best checking apps, saving apps, budgeting apps, and investing apps. So I think you could, depending again how you want to use this in your classroom, and then I'll tell you how I used it in mine. You could have like one group investigate checking and go in and look at some of the best apps and then, present that or tell the class what they found as far as checking. You could have one group do savings. You could have one group do budgeting, or like I said, focus on one unit if you wanted to. In the second part, what they do is they select 3 apps that they want to research a little bit more in detail. And then here's some of those questions, because I think ultimately in this assignment, what we're trying to teach students is how to research an app, like how to research some of these tools, because a lot of them are going to change. Every year there's different apps and different tools that are available. So not so much the like what's new and what's now, but how do I actually research this going into the future so I know the important information about it before I actually download and use it. Because as we know, some students are quick to just download it, trust it, go with it. And this assignment, I think, helps them dig a little deeper that as this fintech world, this financial technology world evolves, there's going to be more apps available and there's going to be more tools. So what should I look at as a savvy consumer before I actually use it? And that's what some of these questions lead them into, is looking at different things of what are some of the pros? What are some of the hidden fees? How old do I have to be to download this? How much money do I need to do it? And then there's charts provided for every app that they want to investigate. So you could have students do this on their own. I think you could do it with partners where then they can share out some of the information. And then at the very end, there's some reflection based on the apps that they looked at. So here's how I've used this activity. And if you've watched any of my teacher tip videos in other units and other activities, I'm one to change things up a little bit. I teach mostly 12th graders. I teach 5 sections of financial management or personal finance. And I've taught this class for maybe about 16, 18 years now. So I'm always trying to mix it up a little bit. So I usually take the NGPF activities and then I make them my own. So in this activity, I changed it up a little bit and made it my own. As I told you, I teach it after my investing unit because I want to investigate a little further into things like robo-advisors and some of those apps like Robinhood or Stockpile, in which it's heavily into investing. But we've already talked about some of these other units, so I pull them in also. The budgeting unit and the checking and savings unit get pulled in as well. So what I do to make this a little different is there is a video, and I'm hesitant to show it to you, but some of you may have access to CBS News. There's a video here that was broadcasted on CBS News that's all about the fintech or the financial technology industry, or like what we're seeing is all these emerging apps. The bad thing about this video is you have to have a subscription to CBS to watch it. I've searched all over YouTube. I've tried to find the free version and I can't seem to find it. But if perchance you have a subscription to this, it's a great one to kind of kickstart this whole conversation on fintech, or what is financial technology. It's a good video that if you have access to it, you could start with. And then what I do, again, to do this a little differently, is I have students partner up. So I put them in partner groups and I assign them an app. So I print little slips of paper with the app on it, and then they just draw one, and them and that person and their partner are going to research that particular app. So I kind of take the idea or the skeleton of this activity, but then I twist it a little bit, that's what's wonderful about the NGPF curriculum, is if you like it like this, you can just press print and you can use it exactly as it's written. Or you can take the idea and you can make it your own and you can customize it. So I've taken the idea and I've twisted it a little bit, where as you can see the document in front of me, I took something like Venmo, Tip Yourself, Wealthfront, Dave, Robinhood. I took a bunch of different apps, and where did I find these? I pulled all the apps from the articles that are listed here on the NGPF document. I walk around my room, I have students partnered up, and I have them draw a slip of paper. And what their assignment is they are to research extensively this particular app. And they're answering the questions that NGPF provides. What's the age requirement? What should I know about security? How does this app make money? Like, they just dive into this particular app and they create a presentation on the app that they've been assigned. And then what I have students do is I have them present the information to the class on their particular app that they've been assigned. And as students are presenting, the audience, the rest of the class, is filling out this document right here. So as the group is presenting on Venmo, the rest of the class is taking some, by the way, I use Google Classroom. So I post this on Google Classroom, and they are typing away on some of the important information about that particular app. As you see here, what's the purpose? How does it work? What should I know? And then what I have them do on this document is I have them shade the box based on their opinion of that app as it's being presented. So if they think the app doesn't seem useful at all, they shade this box blue. If they're like, I'm kind of interested, I'd have to learn a little bit more, they would shade this box green. And if they're like, oh, that sounds awesome, I would definitely use that app, they would shade this box yellow. So when they turn this in and when they're done, they have a bunch of information on all these apps that are popular and trending, I guess, right now based on the information from NGPF, and they've evaluated them a little bit. And then I took the reflection questions from the activity and just posted them here at the bottom. So then they do some reflection at the end. So that's how I've used this activity, and it's kind of fun because it puts the student in charge of doing the research, and they're able to do a little presentation to the class, and then the students learn about all different types of apps that they can use to manage their money. Again, like I said before, you could use this in any unit. You can customize it how you want. If you're interested in the document you see here on my screen, under this YouTube in the comments, I'll post a copy of it in case you're interested in using it. But online and fintech and these apps they're emerging and they're changing. And what we should do is teach students how to investigate them and what to look for. And this activity is a great one to incorporate into any unit in your classroom.